Welcome back to Area DMG. I'm your host, Phil Wesley, the Mile High Mouth, and for today's episode of Suki Nihon, we are reviewing and discussing episode 28 of season 7 of Adventure Time. The episode is called Don't Look. To be honest, it's kind of nice to see them going back to more Adventure Time episodes. In this episode, Finn and Jake are in the library, little cameo from Turtle Princess, and Finn is reading about the treasure of Dead Mountain. Now, Dead Mountain has a treasure which lets people become what they want to be. But it's guarded by an evil hermit that kills by looking at you. So Finn and Jake decide, okay, you know what? Let's go do this. This is cool. We're going to go do this. So they get up the mountain with these little mirror shields because they're like, stuff that looks at you. You know, the whole Medusa thing, all that jazz, you know. It's already so easy to get by. You just mirror shields, everybody. Anywho, they get up there and they realize that, well, there's nothing up there on Dead Mountain. Dead Mountain. It's just a yurt, which is, you know, a type of hut. They go in there and there's just a skeleton with shades on and a bunch of rats everywhere. They pick up a snow globe thinking it's probably the treasure, and realizing it doesn't really do anything, Finn decides, well, you know what, I'm going to take those shades. So he goes over there, he takes the shades, the sunglasses that are on the skeleton, and suddenly stares into its bright blue crystal orb eyes. Turns out the crystal orb eyes are actually the treasure. They transfer to Finn, and what it does is it makes everything that Finn thinks of other people become what they are. So he looks at Jake, and Jake becomes kind of an older brother figure. He looks at Bimo, and Bimo becomes a little angel. He looks at, like, Princess Bubblegum, who calls him over to help her decide whether or not to wear the hot president or kind of hot CEO style suit for a speech that she has to give. He accidentally, his glasses end up getting knocked off because, Princess Bubblegum calls him to take care of the Ice King, who's just sitting there lady watching. So he goes over there, accidentally looks at the Ice King with his crystal eyes, and turns the Ice King into Simon. So the Ice King looks like Simon to him, which is actually kind of sweet when you think about it. Then, of course, Starchy picks up the sunglasses and decides to run off with those, so Finn kind of imagines him as a thief and then kind of a butt, which I guess is kind of amusing. And then he sees Princess Bubblegum and accidentally turns her into kind of a tomboy with like a little backwards cap, which is actually kind of a bit, goes to show that Finn is kind of over his original feelings for the princess. Yeah, anywho, or there's something about Finn that they haven't told us. Anywho, after that bit of a disaster, he gets home and then Nepter shows up, you know, Andy Melocanis' voiced character, Nepter, and Finn accidentally turns Nepter into a microwave. Nepter is a microwave, sort of, and Finn gets kind of disturbed by this. In fact, he feels bad about it. He's like, wait, I keep turning people into these things that they're not. Maybe something's wrong with me. So he looks into a mirror and then turns himself accidentally, because he feels kind of monstrous, into a big giant red monster. And then he runs out of the treehouse all upset about it. So anywho, Jake finds him back at the yurt on Dead Mountain and is like, hey, that's not how we see you. And he gets Finn's friends to come back and talk to him. And while Finn's looking at a mirror, decide to, they get him to figure out that he should see himself as he is, not as he thinks he is. They try and work with him a little bit. A lot of the lesson in this particular episode is not to see things as you think they are, but as they are. Or, you know, it's about perception. As you visualize something, it's so thus it becomes. Eventually, they get Finn to figure out that that his friends see him the way he is, as a good friend and all this stuff, and not as a monster. And upon doing that, and upon regaining his original form, this breaks the curse and the little orb blue eye things fall out, and he everyone changes back to normal, and Neptune bakes those into a pie, and then Bimo accidentally destroys the pie. There is a slight little reference I thought was kind of amusing in this episode, where Princess Bubblegum wants Finn and Jake. At first they think that she wants them to go help Starchy set up the chairs, which, hey, if you've been watching Regular Show for a while, that's like the first episode of Regular Show was pretty much them putting up chairs. It's the first or second episode. So I thought that was kind of a cute little reference. I mean, that's how a whole other series starts, right? But yeah, I thought it was a cute little episode. It was not really notable for being like, it wasn't drop dead hilarious, it wasn't really heavy, or any type of plot wise like the previous episodes have been. And overall, just a pretty decent Adventure Time episode. I liked it. If I were giving it some type of a letter grade, I would give it like a B. It's a decent episode. Nothing I would seek out to watch. Just something where like it helps if you know the characters a little bit, but you don't have to. Overall, pretty good episode. Liking this season so far, and looking forward to seeing what the next episode's going to be about, or what it's going to be like. I think the next one has like some animation in it done by the people who did the online sensation Batman and Spider-Man, who I follow on Tumblr. You should follow us on Tumblr. We're on Tumblr. We're also on Twitter and Pinterest and all that stuff. You should follow us. There's links in the description below. Anywho, what do you think of this episode? Go ahead and hit those comments below and let us know. And if you like this video, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're actually over 6,500 subscribers. 6,500 subscribers. And that is amazing. About a year or so ago, I think we were like 2,000 or 3,000, and I was just like, wow, that's amazing to begin with. But now we're at 6,500, so let's keep going on to 7,000. And hey, until the next episode comes out, you are now caught up.